Konbanwa. Everything's I'm just gonna do some kind of quick overview of today's games. I'm super tired today. It's been a very long day, and if I don't say hello now, I'll probably fall asleep. So I'll just jump quickly into the games, and I'll say more while I'm looking at the game. Okay, see you in a second. Hello again. So the first game today was against a 5-dan from Finland. So I'm black again in this game. I think I've been black in all of the games. I think generally like the idea is that the person that wins Nigiri plays black. We actually had some extra instructions about that today, about like the idea that, you know, playing white and black are supposed to be pretty much equal chances of winning, and the Nigiri is supposed to be random. It's not supposed to be kind of like tactical, like how many stones you pick up, or like trying to choose which color you get when you win the Nigiri. You just take black. So it's supposed to be just some like kind of a ritual. Yeah, that was like some instructions today. But anyway, so I had heard that my opponent is, well, obviously being 5-dan, very good, and probably going to be incredibly good at the end game. So I tried to make the game kind of complicated. So I went for this Taisha variation, which is known to be somewhat complicated. And I tried this Hane and Connect, which is okay maybe, but it wasn't, like the end result wasn't great. And I think maybe part of it is I got tempted into this, making these exchanges and pushing, and then apparently I should just connect here. Like that's kind of simple. And then I don't know, maybe I wasn't really happy with like white getting the tiger's mouth or something, and then I don't know what I'd do, jump or something. I just thought this looked kind of like a cool variation to squeeze white and get like a more stones in the center maybe. But then okay, I have to live in the corner, so that's a little bit painful. And then I just want to keep fighting basically. Because actually I think if the sequence on the left isn't great, then, well, I need to start fighting, and even if it is like even or something, I still want to try get into a bit of a fight. So yeah, so I had a quick look over this game. Apparently I think playing here is maybe better. I mean, I did consider something like this to try and like squeeze the shape a bit, but yeah, probably white's going to get out into the center somehow. Most likely. So it didn't massively appeal to me overall, but maybe I just wasn't visualizing the proper variations. So I tried to keep white separated, and then it kind of looks like there should be some agi with this attachment left. So I tried playing some kind of pincer move, and maybe like just kind of to semi-enclose the corner, but okay, this is also painful to let white have, because white's taking a lot of points on the side. And I still couldn't quite figure out how to make this work, so I tried just covering the center. So then we got this variation, Atari, and then this. I was thinking basically about this Kasumi earlier, but I was trying to find a way to make it work. So, I mean, okay, I have a stone in the right place here, but it still doesn't really work. So I get squeezed, and then Atari, and probably I should just go down just for the sake of it. Like, it doesn't work, but I should probably go down anyway and like play to something like here, because at least there's liberties on the stones in the corner. So before, but I think the problem is, or at least one thing is that I don't really know how to continue now, and if I let white get the Atari of M13 and get into the center, I just don't know what my game plan is. So okay, I just tried covering, which is, trying to capture all the white stones. So white captures, and then I couldn't push, and then I tried to go for a big moyo, but then this is quite an annoying move because it threatens to connect up underneath, more or less. Like, yeah, and if I try separate, then there's some kind of, I don't know, scary looking variations, because at the end of the day, even if I save these stones, if white gets a bunch of forcing moves, maybe white just lives on the side or something. So I just took this he attaches. I try to pincer because I have an idea in mind on how to separate the stone later. And then I tried blocking them this way because it felt like a wider side. I had considered maybe like this double Hane variation, but then that didn't really go with my game plan to try and connect under and get some points. So, yeah, so I just extended to here. And maybe I should keep this move in reserve. Like, I played this forcing move now, but maybe I shouldn't play that because maybe I want to do something like this later in the future. So, yeah, maybe this is bad to exchange this now because there's still a weakness kind of somewhere around P3 or the clamp of O2, and that might actually help white later. It's okay, well, I'm definitely behind. Like, white has a lot of points pretty much everywhere. I'm kind of getting further behind. So I'm really trying hard to just, like, kill this group. But it's pretty much impossible, I think. But I try. And then I tried to cut off the center, or just block the center, and somehow still live with this group. Which, I live with part of it. Except it just feels too small. Like, if I just live now, it just feels very small. Except maybe I didn't really consider it properly because I think maybe white owes a move. So, because essentially what happens in the game, let's say, what's a big move? Yeah, probably something like around here. Like there's some kind of a squeeze that might happen or something. Or, I don't know, let's just put a move somewhere. So, yeah, in the game I actually do play like a variation like this. And the idea is to connect underneath. So, if you capture in and something like this. So maybe white actually does owe a move. So maybe I should have just let white answer like by taking the stone and then come back and play on the right side. So, okay, that was kind of bad. But, so I play on the right side first. I cut off the two stones and then white jumps in. And then if I can't really stop white getting in, I'm already behind. I can't really lose any more points. So I try this wedge and clamp. But white just has kind of too good shape. And then, I mean, this is already feels kind of game over, especially when white comes back to play this Atari. It's okay, I tried to do this sequence that I was shown. But I think what I need to do is I need to exchange this somewhere first. So if white doesn't want to fight the ko, white will connect, but then I can connect under, and then maybe I can get a ko this way or something instead. But actually in the game, so white takes away any possible eye in the corner, and then does this throw in, so there isn't even the possibility to get a ko. And then I just struggle for a little bit longer. I'm trying to find some kind of Damazamari. And then I was almost about to resign, so I just thought I'd try one more sequence, because I couldn't see anything that actually worked against this group on the top. So I think answering this was the wrong idea. But what ends up happening is white fills the liberty here and then makes an eye. And so this makes it Damazamari. So I play here and then Atari, and white can't actually connect and has to fight this ko. Make a kotre. And then this, I don't know, this seemed kind of small by comparison to lots of other things, potentially. But actually, after talking with some people after the game, maybe it wasn't. Maybe I should, like this ko is very big, so maybe I should play it a bit longer. Just find some kind of ko-threats. Like, probably try to live with the bottom group again somehow. Maybe there's at least one, maybe two threats there. I don't know exactly. But yeah, so I end up capturing this group, and white gets in a bit, so it's still good for white. Anyway, some endgame stuff happens. Not the best endgame, probably by me again, and again, the move order is probably a bit off, but anyway, I lose by like 50 points. So, a bit of a disaster game, but maybe not unexpected. So, okay, that's game one against Finland, but, there's some pluses, and it's a game to review, so what can you do? This is a game against the Tudan from Mexico. So in principle, this should be a bit of an easier game than the last one, where that was against the 5-dan. So in principle, I should have some more chances to turn the game around or to get ahead. So I won Nigiri in this again, so I'm black, and yeah, it's funny because I think I've played black in pretty much every game, so if I was just as good at Go as winning Nigiri, I'd probably be ahead in the championship. But anyway, so here we are. So the last, like, I've played a few of these like Moyo games, so I decided I'd try for something more territory oriented. So even just playing kind of low here, and then trying to take some territory on the side, and then trying to kind of nullify the influence of these 3 stones, and then attack. So so we actually had this game reviewed by I think it was Yuki Satoshi. So he actually gave some really interesting ideas, and I think like somewhere around here, I think he was suggesting to just extend here because it gives that's the kind of shape point for white, and to be honest, even maybe just give up the R13 stone, like I don't know exactly what white does, and just jump out or something. He had like just like a much simpler idea of how to play the game in mind. And then he kind of pointed out that this is a really bad exchange, which I think happened first. I think I was trying to stop white cutting off the R13 stone. I was maybe trying to attack a bit harder, but actually I think there's a lot of variations where the peep of P12 for O12 is actually really bad. So we played this, and again I think white he said white should probably play here, because yeah, I mean black doesn't want to connect here now. So basically the exchange, like getting 3-4 is the game, but then getting the Hane for the empty triangle is obviously kind of bad for black. So that's the idea. So yeah, in the game we had this, and then obviously I don't have to play the empty triangle here. I can Hane and then turn, and then white peeps, hoping that I'll connect, but I don't want to connect. And again, the sequence I did was maybe not so amazing, but like this was actually one situation where the exchange is kind of bad. So as in, if these 2 aren't on the board, then maybe there's much more like agi to cut, like either of the 2 cuts with this same sequence. So that was like one example of where the exchange is bad. And then the other thing he mentioned is maybe just like cross-cutting here instead. So where's the stones? Let me get rid of this. Yeah, so just like cross-cutting, and yeah, basically just escaping, really. Something like Atari capture here. So, like just getting out with the stones, or I don't remember exactly the variation he had in mind, but yeah, so it just didn't really occur to me in game. I just thought this looked kind of okay to just like it looks like I live kind of easily, and then I get to play away, but then this exchange helps me a lot. And this one, I just have to exchange this once, and then there's still like a really big cut here for endgame, so I get to play that later. Anyway, I tried to make some kind of territory or big moyo on the side, even though I didn't really think I'd play a moyo game. And then this shoulder here looks good. This jump is also probably fine, and then clamp, I got a bit, again, lucky that they answered here and I got the turn. Whereas there was lots of situations where white could probably just tanuki now. Like play somewhere big, like here or something. Or here, defend this cutting point, which I didn't actually peep at. That was another thing that they mentioned. Which is that I was thinking that, like back here, that later maybe I'll want to do this cut, but I just haven't, I need to prepare for it. But I think the idea is that most players are not going to let you even have a chance to get that cut. Like the idea is probably white should even play here like now, like with some kind of move like this. I guess the idea being that like this, if they try and push, they get a nice tiger's mouth, or something else probably. That, well, they can come out with good shape, I guess. Like fairly easily escape if you try and cut, and yeah, so probably I'm supposed to just do that peep now, because in principle I shouldn't actually get the cut anyway. So this also going fine, and then I think another player was telling me that it's probably a good time to throw a stone in here because this area is a bit too big. So just throw a stone in, ask how they want to answer, and even if I don't want to live inside, then when I play from the outside, I might get some extra forcing moves. I don't know exactly where I throw a stone in, but I throw a stone in just to have at least some presence there. So anyway, I tried this, and then apparently again, this kind of move is apparently much better than the game variation. But they played out some sample sequences and it got really complicated. So maybe it's not so surprising that I went for what looked like a simpler option. And here, apparently what I should do is, like, because there's the cutting isn't really a problem, I should just extend out, because apparently when I do this, there's always a chance that white just gives up the 3 stones and like does something like this. Like just pushes up a lot and like maybe fixes the cut somehow. Or like this or something. And then just has this absolutely huge bottom side. So I think extending is supposed to be one of the better moves. So I mean I get it eventually. And then I exchange this, which I don't know if it was good or not, but it happened. And then here I think was another chance to actually like do really well in the game. Like this could be like game winning. Because if they take the stone, I just take here. I don't know what prevented me from doing it in the game. Maybe I was thinking like if I do this, then I lose the stones in the corner somehow or something. But maybe I just wasn't thinking of the position very clearly. So yeah, this happens and it's not very good. But then I try and peep at the cutting point, but apparently here is just better. And you can kind of, if white struggles to live and you get strong, then you could just come back into the cut later. So apparently this is just a really important point to play. But I get this cut in immediately. And then this is good because you don't want to give white shape, but apparently I should have just blocked in the corner and tried to kill everything. Whereas I kind of settled for just taking a few stones and white got to live. And then I still kind of felt like I needed a move on the outside, which is a bit too slow. So this is another point where I should have just attacked harder. So apparently some kind of peep like this and just go for a huge attack. Yeah, so like peep, cut, and then like, I don't know, bring the stones out like this, and then yeah, just go for a massive attack to try and win by killing this group. Whereas I went like, the reason I kind of, I don't know, if I throw a stone somewhere else, there's like a possibility now that white can actually squeeze since they're giving up these stones anyway, which is very annoying. So that's why I tried to add a move to defend against that sort of thing. So here. But then white gets to play here. And then this idea was to try and, let's say white tries to like completely maximize the points. I was thinking of some variations like this and push and Atari and this kind of stuff. So that's the idea of this tiger's mouth. Well, it's half the idea of the tiger's mouth. So when he backs off, there's also other ideas to pull out the 2 stones. So this is apparently was quite a nice move because it's doing kind of a couple of things. So if you take this stone, then there's some problems where you can't really take the 2 stones because I get to push through like this. So that was one idea I had in mind. So it actually kind of threatens to save the 2 stones like pretty effectively. And the other thing I guess is also just threatening to push in a bit. So, and I don't know, it depends on how the cutting sequence goes. But so anyway, he defends, I get to pull out the stone, and then white's again disconnected in the center. And again, this is another point where I probably had a chance to like almost win the game if I play correctly. So if I do something like this, and even if white goes here, apparently just cut and take the stone, and then the idea is you're really strong on the right side, and there's just not too much chances for white to make eyes over there. So that didn't quite occur to me. So I tried this one, but then this Kasumi is really good. And this move was trying to be in a good spot, and it's in a good spot after this exchange. Oops. So it looks much better than it probably should have in the game. Apparently white should try do something like this. And if I, save this stone in some way, like I pull it back or something, then you can try and use this play in the center of this elephant's eye. So that was kind of helpful. And then this move, and then apparently, again, it's pretty close. Like, I get these kinds of exchanges. Oops. I get this kind of exchange here, and then apparently I just need to pull back. And it might even be like a win for black again, because apparently it's quite difficult for white to make eyes here. Well, maybe if you're a professional player, it looks like it's going to be difficult for white to make eyes here. But for me, I was a bit worried. But apparently, like, you do something like this, and if they block, then you just do something like this, and it's starting to look like white just has some kind of 4-point eye space or something on the side, or just some kind of dead shape. So, I don't know. Things sound simpler when a better player is showing you the variations. But yeah, I tried something like this, but then it turns out that I just lose the stones in the center. And then we go into some kind of end game, and I don't remember the exact timing, but I know white, added one more stone in the bottom side, and we just started playing some end game, which I probably don't have in the right order, but let me just give you a rough idea of like what happened. So in the end, after all the end game, white actually won by 10.5. So the bottom side is just a bit too big, especially if you combine it with the stones I kind of lost in the center. So so I had actually a lot of chances, I think, to be ahead in this game. Like the opening went reasonably well. It's just overall, I just didn't take my chances properly. So what can you do? So tomorrow's game is going to be against Colombia, I think. So I think I was originally being paired against Vietnam, who was a 5-dan, and luckily I'm being paired instead against the 4-dan from Colombia. So two tough opponents potentially. So I don't feel like I've gotten a much easier time actually with this pairing, but what can you do? So I'll let you know tomorrow how that goes. The evening has been good as well. Like we had a tour this evening. We had a bus tour. We visited this Team Labs place, which is like kind of like art, almost like sound and like visual kind of experience thing. And had some nice food and stuff. So that was all really good. But I'm just very tired after kind of a long day, games and tours and other stuff. So yeah, it's been really fun. Okay, I will let you know again tomorrow, and I'll try my best against the 4-dan. Okay, see ya.